Hi everybody, so today we are going to be doing our printing plates. We're going to actually end up doing them as a crayon rubbing since we're all at home. And I am using the Arc de Triomphe, and this is in Paris, France. It is a monument to soldiers, and underneath there is the French Tomb of the Unknown Soldier from World War I also. So just a little history for you. And I want to... This is the arc. Alright, so for my supplies today, I am going to be using some note cards that I happen to have. See, they're lined note cards that are colored, which is great because it'll show up better on my video. But you could use any kind of paper like this. It could be from a file folder. You could even take the thin cardboard that a cereal box or like this goldfish comes from. That would work great for this project also. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is you are going to draw your image of your building of choice. This is world architecture, and we're also going to be putting the country on here also. So I am going to draw this and I will be right back. Alright, so here I am with my arc actually drawn. I did use a ruler to make straight lines and then realized you guys can't see it on the video, so I traced over it with the marker and I have some uneven lines. But hopefully you have a ruler at home and you will use this for your straight lines. The next thing I need to do is up here, I reserve some space to write my title, my country of origin. So we're going to try this with the marker and see what happens. So I'm going to lay my ruler just across the top edge of my paper and I'm going to draw my line. So this is my guideline. From here I am going to go ahead and figure out what is the middle of my word. So to do that, I'm writing France. Whoops, not a G. That's a C. And so when I count these, I can figure out which is in the middle by striking off my letters. So if I do an F and an E at the end, then the second. Alright, I find that right between these two letters is the center of my word. Sometimes you will have a letter that is in the center, and sometimes it will be the space between two letters. So I am going to go ahead and just do a little fold on my paper that I have here. It left a little mark, so I know that this is the center of my paper. So I am going to write my N over here like so, my C and an E. I am touching the top of the paper and my guideline. And then I'm going to do my A, my R, and the F. So that is going to take up all of my room. Now I just need to basically make it block or bubble letters. So if I come around and trace around what I already have, that's going to give me the bubble. So, and my inside piece. So now I have my letters, or I will in a minute. If you want to create a font for yourself, go ahead and do that. If you need to work with lower letters, or let's say you're doing a longer country title, let's say you're doing El Salvador. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of letters. You might have to make two different guidelines, and you might have to do smaller letters. Would be two different ways to do it. I don't know that breaking El Salvador down is going into two lines is really going to work for you, but if I make my letters smaller like this, I'll be able to draw smaller letters here. Also, doing a combination of uppercase and lowercase can also help save space. So work out what's best. You might even need to make some decisions on your building might not fit this way. You might have to turn your project in this direction, especially if you have a long, low building, and that way you will be able to fit a longer title in. So whatever works is going to be just awesome, I'm sure. So now I'm ready to start cutting. So I'm just going to cut out my letters with my handy dandy little scissors. And I'm going to start here by cutting just the top across. Oh, these are not the sharpest scissors here. Anyway, and I will cut out my letters and I will show you them in just a moment. Okay, so here are my letters, and I just wanted to show you one thing that I hadn't mentioned before, and that is when you have a letter that has the middle section that needs to be cut out, the safest way to do that is to just cut through your letter, cut around your middle section, like so, and it'll be fine. You don't need to worry about that cut, because once you glue everything down, you are not going to see that anymore, so it doesn't have any kind of impact. Whatever you do, please be safe. Do not jam your scissors down in there. So now that I have my letters cut out, I can glue them down. I am going to, either you can put your ruler here, or you could take your piece of paper and line it up here so that you have something to line your letters up with so that they are going to be straight. For if you're using the really thin paper like I am right here, you guys know I don't like glue sticks because they just aren't strong enough, but you could probably do this because it's thin. If you are using the other cardboard, you know, this cardboard from your cereal boxes or whatever kind of boxes, you are definitely going to want to use white glue. Now, this glue is empty, so I actually am going to be using another type of glue. It is tacky glue. This stuff is great. It's what I have here at hand. If you don't have any glue, I did post a recipe on how to make glue at home with flour and water. So I'm going to put my glue on here, and this is not a time that you need to be doing dots of glue, believe it or not. You're probably shocked to hear me say that. And I'm just going to keep this just like that so that I am straight. Although I'm talking and I'm forgetting what I should be doing. So again, on my base paper, I want to have my word on there straight. So I'm going to give a little tiny fold like that so I know that's the middle. And if you remember, at least for my word, my center was between the A and the N. So I'm going to put my N right over here. And then I'll finish out my C and my E. And then go backwards through my ARF. Now, if you work quickly enough, you will have time to wiggle these around if you don't like where they are. If they're not working for you. Okay. And like I think that N needs to, there, that's a little better. And any glue that is on sort of squirts out, because you do need to use a fair amount of glue to make this stuff stick. You do want to wipe that up with your finger or a paper towel, because anything that is making a bump on this paper, that is going to print. So there is the word France. That is the country of my building that I'm doing. And the next thing I'm going to do is cut this out, and then we will start building the actual building on here using positive and negative space. So let me just get it basically cut out and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my project cut out now, and what I'm going to be doing is some two-dimensional paper cutting techniques. And I have a handout that I want to show you and go over. So hold on.